I decided to go solo because the band I was in at the time and I were, we were kind of at the next step. Do we make a new album? What do we do? And the direction they were going and the direction I was going were kind of different ways. And the 1950s sound was just something I've always wanted to do. And like, I did it here and there. I would like record a 1950s vibe song and it wouldn't work out. So when I left the band, I really decided to just hone in on the sound. When I was playing in pop punk bands, it was very produced, and even when I was writing lyrics for pop punk bands, I was having trouble putting myself in those situations because the typical lyrical content for pop punk is always very like it's almost like a high school kind of vibe, and I always felt like writing love songs and stuff like that like were very raw and real, and that's kind of more what the 50s was all about. And I feel like it was more me. I feel more myself now doing this 50s thing than I ever did in any other project. I chose Alan as my producer because I heard his work on a musician named Michael Hughes, and my dad actually did session work for Michael Hughes. I just loved the vibe of the record and just the sound of his producing. You felt like you were in the room listening to this guy sing with the band right there, because it had that warm sound and that live. It wasn't too tight, like it wasn't perfect, and I think that's what a lot of music is missing these days, especially is there needs to be flaw in it, because that's what makes music so cool. The pre-production process took about like 5-6 months.
The biggest problem was you had to deal with my ugly loops that I have. You know, it's like little drum loops forever.
There was a while where I was writing some of the lyrics to MIDI tracks and having trouble getting the emotion of the song across, because like the dinky little MIDI instruments, it's not easy to like be passionate over a fake string section. Pre-production was good. There was a lot of just like tweaking the songs and really working on my songwriting before we went in to do the final takes. Because yeah, like I said, they were very just like shells of songs, but they needed that extra something to bring them to the next level, and I think Alan really brought that out.
In pre-production, I kept saying, you know, we got to find the key, we got to find the tempo, we got to kind of get the groove happening. You have to do the pre-production before you move on to the other process, because with the pre-production, you can kind of work out all the kinks. You can kind of find out, okay, does this work? Do we need to change the key here? Do we need to add something? Should we have different instruments? It's like, that's what's important.
I think he definitely left an imprint on the music, because he kind of helped round out my songs. Because when I brought him some of the songs like Cute Girl, they were very just like basic, and he kind of made them into, he kind of helped modernize them a little bit too. So yeah, he definitely left a mark on the sound.
Kind of the whole process, it's really a team effort, and I think everybody adds their own little touch to a project that they work on.
We've been recording kind of in a few different studios. One of the studios is Alan's home studio. He has a studio in his basement. And we did a lot of the live horns and strings and background vocals over at Sheridan College in Oakville. They have some student studios and they're fully equipped and they look great. So we recorded a lot of the live parts there, and I did most of my vocals at Alan's house.
It's great, it's comfortable. When we did all the pre-production, did all the final vocals are done here, and it's great that way because it's really comfortable.
I chose to use live instruments because there's a warmth about them that you can't get with sampled instruments, and that goes for the same as the 50s songs. There's that warmth about them that you don't get nowadays because everything's so digital, and that's something I really wanted to make sure I did with my sound, is make it that flawed, raw sound. I wouldn't get one saxophone player to play all the parts because each player is going to play it differently, pretty much. They're going to put their own spin on it, their own articulation.
It's like all the guys that have been used on these tracks are really top-notch players and are some of the biggies in town.
I'm glad we took our time with it, because I don't think at first I wanted to rush this project and like I have to have it out in the summer, but I'm glad we didn't rush it because I think good things take time, and I couldn't be happier with the product.
If you're doing a project because you love it and you want to do it, the time factor should not be involved. And I think that's how we've always worked. With all our projects, it's like we want to get the best product for whoever we're working with. And it's like, they're not a client, they're our friends, they're people we're working with. So I don't care if it takes a month, 6 months. When it comes out, I want people to be able to listen to it and go, wow, that's great. I think what he's doing is kind of hip now, but also has the 50s vibe to it. So I think it's a combination. I don't think it's just totally 50s, because I think we still need to have the current kind of twist to it. It still has to have the sounds of today, but with the sounds of the 50s as well. You know, when we finish a session and I sit there and I think, wow, that guy can sing. He's got a great voice and that song is really great. And I think, you know what? If you don't feel that way, I've had sessions where I've finished them and did not feel that way. But through this whole project, it's been really fantastic. Devin's a really talented guy, very creative and really talented.
I'm just going to be releasing them as singles, all these songs as singles, and hoping to do music videos for each one, kind of build the fan base. I've been playing with a band for a couple weeks now, and we're going to be playing live soon, and hopefully just touring and get back on the road. I want to just thank everybody for watching the videos and sharing the videos and caring, pretty much. Yeah, thanks so much.